let me introduce our speaker for today. Let me give our disclaimer. This is a community call to educate the community about holistic healing. All of the information and comments are the opinions or experiences of individuals. Unless introduced as a doctor, individuals on the call are not doctors. So please consult with your own doctor or, better yet, do your own research and find out what works for your own body. So, having said that, I am thrilled to introduce our guest, Amber Ford. Amber Ford is a holistic health coach specializing in empowering Black women and to take control of their health. She's the founder of Majestic Health Coaching, LLC, background in health insurance and patient advocacy for 5+ years of experience. Thank you so much, Amber, for being on the call to help us out with our 120 days.
It's my pleasure. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. Awesome. Are you able to share your screen?
Yes, I was working on that. Give me a minute.
Okay. There should be a share button at the bottom.
Yes. Can you guys see my screen?
Awesome.
Perfect. And as I put this in present mode, can you still see the presentation?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Beverly. Again, my name is Amber Ford, and I'm going to discuss today advanced self-care for you guys and how elevating your wellness through hydration, detox, and mindfulness. As she mentioned, I'm a holistic health coach, and I specialize in empowering Black women and women of color to take control of their health, mind, body, and spirit. The reason why I'm so passionate about self-care is my own personal journey with my own health issues and learning that I need to first take care of myself before taking care of others, and taking care of myself reduces all of my burnout, the stress, and things like that. And again, my mission is to help women create sustainable self-care routines that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Of course, if you guys have any questions at all, always feel free to stop me at any point. So why advanced self-care? Self-care goes beyond mere relaxation. It encompasses profound nourishment for your soul. I think a lot of times people have issues with self-care because we are very inconsistent with our practices. We can get a little overwhelmed with trying to figure out what works for us. There's a lot of things out there for self-care and taking care of yourself, and so we don't really take the time to really figure out and adopting things that fit us, and we're just going along with the trends that are out there right now. This slide shows just to help guide us in ways to personalize self-care routines. And so one of the first things is hydration. Hydration is more than just the water that we drink. I've always been one of those people that drink a lot of water, but I've always been told I'm dehydrated. And that's because we've been kind of trained to drink like purified water, but it has none of the minerals and things that our body needs. So hydration is important because it helps boost your energy, mental clarity, and improves digestion and detoxification. And it supports our overall, supports our skin and our overall health. And like I mentioned, the common mistakes we have with hydration is drinking plain water, and so we still feel really dehydrated. We're not thinking about electrolytes and the importance that takes in our bodies, and we're consuming too much coffee or alcohol or like caffeine in general. And then, so some strategies to help with your hydration. That's what's say infused. So have infused water, like adding lemon or cucumber or mint and things like that to your water. I've You can add like electrolytes, as in sea salts, coconut water, trace minerals. Some people use like Celtic salt as well, or like electrolyte packets. Also, drinking and eating hydrating foods. So a lot of our fruits and vegetables like watermelon, oranges, celery, bone broths are really have lots of hydration in them for us. And hydration timing is important. So a lot of the time, a good way to start your morning is to start with some warm water with some lemon in it. It's a good reset for your body, and it adds some hydration to start your day. It's good to drink water and hydrate yourself before you eat because it helps with your digestion. And listening to your body and knowing your thirst cues to stay hydrated. And then another important part of self-care is detox, and it helps support your body's natural cleansing. So your body detoxes naturally through your liver, your kidneys, your lymphatic system, and your skin. And so signs that you may need a detox support is you have really low energy or brain fog, like trouble focusing and things like that. Sluggish digestion, bloating, or frequent breakouts in your skin. I think when it comes to our skin, we often forget that our skin is an organ, and it's the largest organ of our body. So when our bodies are dealing with things, you'll break out as your body's trying to show signs of trying to get rid of things, is by like how your skin feels. If your skin's really dry, breakouts, things like that. And some gentle detox, daily detox practices are, as you mentioned, like lemon water in the morning. It boosts your liver function. Even sometimes, if I don't drink very often, but if I do, and if I've had like a long night, I may start my morning off that way as to help my liver detox all the things, or the bad things I've eaten or drank, or things like that. Dry brushing to stimulate your lymphatic system. It helps push it helps push things to drain out from your lymphatic system. When you dry brush them, it helps push kind of like the toxins out of your body. Deep breathing exercises release toxins through the lungs. And you can drink herbal teas like dandelion, ginger, or burdock root. And of course, moving your body is a great way to do a daily detox. So saunas, walking, stretching, things like that. And then mindfulness. And mindfulness is the missing piece of self-care. So why mindfulness matters? It helps reduce stress and emotional overwhelm. It helps enhance your digestion and sleep. And it improves self-awareness and energy levels. Signs that you may have some emotional toxicity, negative self-talk, burnout and exhaustion, and feeling really disconnected from your body and people around you. So a really important thing is mindful eating and nourishment. And I know it's the culture we live in today. We're eating in front of our TV. We're on our phones while we're eating. If you work a 9-to-5 job, oftentimes we're rushing to eat in 30 minutes because that's the time allowed. And we're ignoring our hunger and fullness cues. So simple ways to kind of get out of those mindless eating habits and being a little more mindful is taking deep breaths before your meals, learning to eat slower and chew thoroughly, just slow down while we eat and not always be in a rush, and express gratitude for your food and what you have and the time that you have to eat. I know that I talked to someone once, and they actually, like, as they cook their food, speak out loud gratitudes for what they have and things like that. So it's kind of like as they're eating or cooking their food, they're taking that time to be a lot more mindful and thankful for what they have. Emotional and spiritual detoxes. So good ways to release emotional stress is journaling, processing your thoughts and emotions, setting boundaries to protect your peace. One thing I do talk about a lot, especially as Black women and women of color, we oftentimes sometimes have hard time setting boundaries because we hold such a strong place in our families, and we're the ones people lean on, and we help people get through things, and we don't learn how to take care of ourselves first. And so I think a big part of that is learning to set boundaries for ourselves and others. Doing breath work and meditation helps you regain balance, and letting go of negativity. So really taking stock in the people you have in your lives and environments that you're in, and figuring out if they serve you or not. And if they don't serve you, letting go of it is really important for your emotional and spiritual health. Some things you can do for daily mindfulness practices are deep breathing, which is the box breathing, which is breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4, and breathing in for 4 and out for 4. Doing grounding exercises like walking barefoot, just sitting in the sun. Also, sitting in the sun helps with vitamin D levels, which most Black and brown people have less of because of our melanin, so we don't absorb the vitamin D from the sun. So oftentimes we need to kind of sit in the sun longer or take vitamin D pills. And that stuff also helps with your vitamin D, helps with your mood and things like that as well. And doing body scan check-ins. And that just kind of tension release. It's kind of just sitting with yourself and feeling where you may feel pain in your body, or will be signs of stress, or noticing, hey, when I've had a really rough day at work, I get a headache. Or when I talk to this person, I get this tension in my back, or just really learning your body's cues of when there's a problem. And then the 3-minute reset. So you would just take 1 minute and pause, and then take another minute and take 3 deep breaths. And then the 3rd minute, just identify how you feel and what you need. So the 3-minute reset gives you a moment to just pause and reflect throughout your day. And the most important thing is personalizing self-care for your long-time success. Self-care must fit your lifestyle. So you have to kind of do a trial and error and figure out what works for you, and ask yourself, what makes me feel my best? What drains my energy? And what's missing from my routine? So example for me, part of it being an introvert is that I need some time to myself. And so I'll get up before the rest of my house gets up and just sit down and with a cup of tea and just kind of embrace the silence before my day gets crazy, before my son gets up, before I'm helping my husband get things ready for work. So I know it's important for me to just take some time for myself before the day gets started. So then building a sustainable self-care routine. It's not about perfection, and just focus on small, consistent habits. So daily non-negotiables would be like hydrating, moving your body, and taking deep breaths. But also make it doable. So, you may be trying to meditate or do deep breathing. Starting off with 20 minutes may not work. Start with 1 minute, start with 2, and gradually make it longer. So it's important to start where you are and being okay with that, and it's still being helpful. And adjust your self-care with life changes. So on more stressful days, you may need a longer or different things in your self-care routine, depending on your career, motherhood, things like that. So really knowing that your self-care routine may not stay the same. It may adjust as your life adjusts, as your day adjusts, and things like that. And then creating your self-care toolbox. So must-have strategies for self-care for busy and low-energy days. So taking a 5-minute breath work, and like I said, if it needs to be a shorter one as you're adjusting to doing breath work, if it's new for you, doing it for a minute. There are like YouTube videos and things like that. You can like YouTube like breath work videos and kind of walk through them with you until you find one or a way that works for you. Doing a quick journal. I know for me, journaling every day is not always realistic, but there are certain days, and I'll take 5-10 minutes and journal, and that's all I need. Herbal teas for relaxation, so like things like chamomile tea are really relaxing, but just finding different ways to kind of take some time to relax for yourself. And stretching or doing short walks. If you are looking for like workouts and things like that, there is an app called Fit On, and they have free videos of things like yoga, Pilates, cardio, things like that. And all the videos on there are free. There is like a paid version, but the paid version is to get like recipes, like food recipes and things like that. But all the workouts on there are free to use. And then just some key takeaways again to keep in mind. Hydration, detox, and mindfulness work together for your deep self-care. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. I think a lot of the times we think that self-care is expensive, getting these really expensive facials, these really like expensive massages, and a lot of times self-care might just be taking a walk around the block or just taking a moment and watching your favorite TV show or listening, just relaxing and listening to music. And then the best self-care routine is one that fits your life and your lifestyle. Everyone's self-care routine may not look the same because I believe in something called bio-individuality. We all need something different in our lives, especially as Black and brown women. You know, oftentimes I think we're all the same, and we're so different. We have such different needs. And then thank you guys so much. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Coach Majestic, and then you can head to my website majestichealth.co, and you can see a little more about what I do in my health coaching and things like that if you guys are interested on learning more about what I do.
Of course, this information is rich with things that we need to do, that we need to not only know, but things that we need to do and implement. Mm-hmm. I have so many notes, but I'm going to ask if anyone has any questions that Ashley, go ahead and ask your questions, and I'll save mine for last. Thank you for sharing that, Amber. That is awesome. Of course.
Mm-hmm. Amber, when you say dry brushing, what is that? And when you're detoxing, you said something like dry brushing.
Yeah, so that's for your lymphatic system. There are actually like dry brushes that you can buy, and you would brush your skin, and it helps push any toxins that are in your skin down into your lymphatic system. And we have like lymph nodes in our arms and our neck. We have them in multiple. A lot of times, where there are the creases in our bodies, there's like your lymphatic nodules, and it helps push them because your lymphatic system is the one that pushes out all the toxins in your body. Mm-hmm. So especially a lot of people, if they get like, some people get like a lot of swelling and things in their legs, you can kind of brush that out for you. I think I have. Let me see if I have a video for that. I know like when my grandfather was sick, he got a lot of swelling and like cellulitis and stuff in his legs, and we would dry brush to kind of help push around all that water and things in his legs as well.
Using a natural, soft, bristled brush, brushing is going to help stimulate the lymphatic system for lymphedema, lipedema, and other skin changes from aging. It's extremely inexpensive and really easy to do. You can even do it daily, and it's best prior to a shower or bathing. It's always done on dry, fresh skin without any lotions or oils on it. Be sure to avoid any areas that you may have sensitive or broken skin, as well as any areas that you may have any signs of infection. Your pressure should be firm, but you should not have any irritation from it. If your skin appears red or irritated, discontinue using the brushing and talk to your doctor. There are no set guidelines on how long you need to spend doing your brushing. It can take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes all the way up to 15 to 20. You can cover the entire body or just focus on an area that may be a problem for you. So if you look around online or on YouTube on various videos on dry brushing, they're going to tell you to move everything towards the heart. However, let's think about the lymphatic system. So we know the lymphatic system sits right under the skin. There are deeper vessels that go to the heart. However, the vessels that are right under the skin, which are going to be affected mostly by the dry brushing, actually go to your lymph nodes in your armpit, in your head neck region, and in your groin region. So therefore, it likely will be more effective if you focus your brushing towards your lymph nodes under your skin rather than everything going towards the heart. If you do any manual lymph drainage for your symptoms or lymphedema, you know that we move the fluid away from the affected lymph nodes into other various parts of the body. You can use your dry brushing in the exact same format. If you're interested in seeing what manual lymph drainage is and how we do that, I'll put some links down below for videos I've created on manual lymph drainage for various parts of the body. So for example, if you had lymph nodes taken out from this right arm or right axilla area, then you don't want to move all your fluid towards that armpit because that area is compromised. So what you want to do is focus on all the fluid in this region to move across the body towards the healthy lymph nodes on the other side or down the body towards your lymph nodes in your groin area. Again, you overall want to think about the same component or same process that you do for manual lymph drainage. Okay, so the first thing you want to start with for your dry brushing is your abdomen area. You have a lot of deep lymphatic nodes and lymphatic vessels that can help get the fluid moving out from your legs and your arms back to the heart. And so when you take your brush, you're going to do it on your bare skin, but you're going to do small brush strokes upwards around your abdomen all over each area, spending about a minute or two in each area, or if you have a more problem area, to spend more time there. Then from there, we're going to go first through the arm or the upper extremity, and then we'll go through a leg. And I will put notes down below of where you can fast forward to each of these areas. So for the upper extremity, we talked about you have lymph nodes and lymph vessels that work toward your armpit areas. And so when we think about the lymphatic system, we want to get the fluid moving to the lymph nodes to then get out of the body. However, there are two different routes here. If you do not have a dysfunction in your lymphatic system, you do not have lymphedema, you can move directly towards that armpit. So think about drawing a line down the middle of your body and across at your belly button, and that area or that quadrant will go through that armpit or that arm. If you do have lymphedema or you are at risk for lymphedema, we don't want to bring more fluid to this area because it can get backed up. We want to think about using what we call the anastomoses to help get the fluid moving out from one side to the other or down from the side towards the groin. So those who do not have a compromised lymphatic system, what you're going to do if we think about this side is we're going to take the chest wall and move everything towards the armpit. So your strokes will be towards the armpit, across the chest, up from the side of the chest, and around. If you have trouble or want to reach your back, you want to get one of the dry brushes with the long handle so that you can reach. But you're going to do a couple minutes in each area towards the armpit. Now, if you do have a compromised or lymphatic dysfunction, you're not going to go towards these lymph nodes. You're going to go across the body or toward the groin. So coming away from that area that is dysfunction, bringing all the way across to the other or healthy side, or you can come down the side of the chest wall towards the groin area, doing small strokes all the way down. So for either, though, you are going to work upwards towards the arm and out of the arm. So think about in quadrants, so upper arm, lower arm, and hands. And we're going to start with the upper arm, and you're just going to do the strokes up the arm, out towards the shoulder or towards the armpit area. You can focus and make sure you get all areas of the arm with small little strokes up and around. After a minute or two there, then you go to the lower arm. So all the way up in each area of the arm. And again, if you have a problem area, you can focus more in this area, but otherwise you can brush through quickly. After you've done the lower arm, then you're going to do the hand. You can do the back of the hand and the fingers. And then when you've gotten to the end of the hand, you can work your way back up. So working with the back of the hand and then up into the lower arm, all the way and doing all areas, making sure you get around the elbow area. And then once you've done a minute or so there, then you work back up into the upper arm towards the armpit area. Once you get back all the way up the arm, you can come back to the front of the chest and work out of that area all the way down or all the way across if you do have that dysfunction, so the fluid's not sitting right there. So that's a really quick rundown of the upper extremity or arm for dry brushing. We work downwards to clear the area and then back up to help drain the lymphatic system. All the fluids working back out of the arm towards the heart area or specifically towards the lymphatic nodes, whichever ones are the healthiest for you. Okay, so now we're going to go through the lower extremity or the leg. It doesn't matter for this part of the body if you have a normal lymphatic system or a dysfunction such as lymphedema. You still have to work the fluid moving out of the area and through the groin. So you are going to work in quadrants, starting with the upper part of the leg and working with your dry brush in short strokes upwards towards the groin, working in all areas, outside, inside, and around. If you have a lot of swelling in one spot, especially behind the leg, just spend a little bit more time there. But again, making sure that you're being soft enough that you don't cause any irritation or skin breakdown. After you've done there, you can work into the knee, where you would work around the kneecap area, making sure that you get around the sides. And then when you're ready, you're going to work down in the lower leg, starting with the bottom and working your way upwards towards your knee. And you do have lymph nodes behind your knee, and so you want to make sure that you're working behind the knee as well to get those areas stimulated, to get the fluid moving out. Once you spend a couple of minutes on the lower leg or whatever time you need, then you can work towards the top of the foot and around towards the toes, and even on the underside of the foot and the heel, working up and around towards the sides, doing a couple minutes there. Once you've gotten all the way down the leg, then you're going to work your way back up. So starting with the foot, doing a little bit follow through with your foot, and then doing up the legs. And again, I'm going pretty quick through this just for time, but you can spend a few minutes on each area wherever you feel like you need it most. Once you've made the lower leg and then you're working into the knee area, then you're going to go ahead and finish with back up on the upper leg, everything working back up towards the groin area where your lymph nodes are. And once you've made to the groin area, then you can go and do the other leg. Once you get to here, what you want to do is finish with the abdomen area again, working the fluid back upwards towards your heart. After you've completed your brushing, then you want to go ahead and bathe or shower to help wash away any extra dead skin cells that the brushing might have exfoliated from your skin. Use your towel to pat dry and then apply your moisturizer or lotion. If you found this video helpful, please press the like button and I'll see you all at the next video. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, that was really good.
Good, good.
Very informative. Mm-hmm. It makes sense, you know, to brush it up towards the groin area. Mm-hmm. And also, there was an exercise in one of, it was a meeting that I'd gone to, where they were saying, you know, to do the rebounder, like the little round trampoline, mm-hmm. and bouncing on that is really good for the lymphatic system for draining. Right. And even mm-hmm. if you don't have one, to just bounce on your mm-hmm. you know, tippy toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Yeah, can you also touch on the electrolytes? Because I was just, my thing was, oh, my pee needs to be clear, it needs to be clear. And then I saw
Mhm.
this video about, okay, well, you're losing
Mhm.
electrolytes. Can you explain that part about the pee and what it should look like and about the electrolytes?
Right. Yes. So, essentially, like, and if you think about like when you sweat, sweat is salty. Your body's getting rid of. So the electrolytes keep you hydrated. But we live in a world of purified distilled water, and that's been a big thing. Not having too many things in your water, but your body actually needs those minerals as a hydration. Like even like for me, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I drink tea, which is also essentially water. I had a doctor tell me that I was flushing out all of the minerals that my body needed because all of my water was like pure. Because you're not, so like when you sweat, you're releasing electrolytes and salt, and so you have to replenish it. So it's not just your water intake. And even like my mom too, we like love water, and we've both been always told that we're dehydrated because we drink purified water. So a lot of people even mountain water or like a spring water, like a mountain spring or mountain or spring water, they aren't completely purified, so they have minerals in them. So if you're looking just to drink some more water that has more nutrients in it and minerals, is like a spring water or mountain water. And then let me see if I can find it. If you are looking for things to add to your water, some people just do like Himalayan salt or like Celtic salt. They'll just like add a little bit of salt into like if you drink water like from a water bottle or like a glass, they'll put like salt in it. I typically buy electrolyte packets. Some of them are healthier than others, and my preference is a brand called LMNT. I put the name of it in the chat. It comes with different flavors, but it's doesn't have a whole lot of sugar, like things like Liquid IV and stuff have a lot of sugar and added. This one's a pretty clean one to try. And so, like I said, your water, if your pee is completely clear, you have you haven't had enough like minerals to keep you hydrated. Another way of that is also just drinking or eating fruits and vegetables that are hydrating. So watermelon, apples, celery. That's kind of why celery tastes kind of salty. It has a lot of salt and like minerals in it. I know for a while, for my own health, I was doing some celery juicing, and I felt the dryness in my skin go away because I was more hydrated than so not just drinking water, but that's also why fruits and vegetables are good for you, not just the fiber and things like that, but they're hydrating for your body, which is probably why we probably crave them a lot more in the summer, like watermelons and things like that during the summer because they hydrate us more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say, we have had people come on before to say about the electrolytes in the water and the different fruits and stuff to put in it. But I've never heard anyone say about how they drink a lot of purified water, but they were still hydrated. How interesting.
Yeah. I had a doctor told me to drink more Gatorade because that's also why like sports drinks have electrolytes in them to replenish you from when you're sweating out. He told me to drink more Gatorade. I had a doctor tell me that I needed more minerals essentially in my body.
Okay. Yeah. And instead of doing the Gatorade, we could make our own electrolyte water, salt, different fruits and fruit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. The breath work, I wanted you to talk about the breath work because when we started the 120 days to a happy new you, that was one of the first breathing. And although, it helped me in tremendous ways, not only with my energy, but holding my breath and breathing. And I mean, just so many things it helped with. Can you give us some more details about the breath work and the importance of it and some of the benefits that you may have experienced?
Yeah. So the reason why breath work is so helpful, one, is because it calms your body, and you focus. It's kind of almost like the same thing as like meditation, just taking that time to like focus. So even some people, like if you have like you deal with anxiety and things like that, it's one of the things that helps like regulate your nervous system. Or like I've heard people who have anxiety, doctors have told them to do like say like look around the room and point to and locate 5 things that are like there'll be like 5 things that are blue, 5 things that are yellow, like 4 things that are yellow. And so it's a way of like centering your body. And so which is why breath work, like meditation and things like that, help calm your system, and helps you like focus. I know you said that it helped, like, is that how it helped you too, with like say like your anxiety or focusing and things like that? So it's like a way of regulating your nervous system to focus. Or like I've done it for like I had to do like I have thyroid issues, and I had to do like a nuclear study on my thyroid, and the machine sat like right here, like but like all through my face. And the only way I could I had to sit and like take deep breaths to like focus to calm myself from having something this close, like this close to my face. And like they warned me, they're like, it gets really close. And during the time, it was like still kind of like post-pandemic, so I'm still like wearing a mask. And they were like, you sure you want to wear your mask? Because it gets really close. And at first I did, and then I had to take it off, and I had to like calm my body to like get through it, because it's there for like 5-10 minutes. And so our being in, I don't know if you've ever been in your head in an MRI machine or anything like that, it makes you feel very claustrophobic. And I've had to sit there and take deep breaths, so it almost takes my mind off of the part of it, like realizing how things are close. And so I took like deep breaths, and it I don't even know how to. It's like your mind gets really clear, and you get really like honed in. And I think for me, at one point, I almost kind of felt like I was outside of it. If that makes sense. I don't know if that's how you felt when you've done it too. Almost like you have more control in a space that you don't have control.
Anybody else have any questions before I ask this next one? Your presentation was just rich, honestly, with information. The thing is, with most of us, is we see this information, and then we might do them for a couple of days, and then it kind of falls off or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I love that you put on the non-negotiables. Mm-hmm. It was like you ended with the non-negotiables, and I'm like, oh, that brings it home to where if we're not doing any of these things, mm-hmm. then it's like it gives us a place to start. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to go on those non-negotiables. You were saying hydrate, move, and the breathing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So now, in your routine, or when you started, how did you do that? Did you just mm-hmm. start doing like 5 minutes? Or if somebody doesn't do any of this, what would you recommend them starting with?
Yeah, I would say like always start small. I think sometimes the reason why we kind of do things and we fall off is we're trying to do it and we don't, and we're trying to like go all in sometimes, and we don't even know how to create the space or have a foundation of it. And so I think that kind of like almost like the do what's for you. Like if you're a night person, do this at night. It is a start. I think if you start small, it'll eventually increase. So you're not overwhelming yourself because you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do an hour of working out, an hour of meditation. Like it almost seems like daunting. Like you're like, I'm trying to learn this new thing, but I also have to do it for an hour. Like can seem overwhelming, and you can feel like it's impossible. So like, say I'm gonna sit here and meditate or sit in silence or listen to music for 5 minutes every morning, and then like I said, when Maya brought up the question, it's an idea called crowding out. Is if you start, oftentimes, like you say, like, hey, I want to get more vegetables in my diet, but trying to figure out how to put vegetables in 3 to 4 meals a day can feel like a lot or feel overwhelming, because you're like, I still really do like this meal. Like changing out, like not even changing out the whole meal, like say like I'm going to add a side of vegetables to my lunch every day. And then your body's going to be like, oh, like I needed this, it feels good. And your body's going to start to crave it and want it more. And so instead of like, it's your body saying, hey, I want this more. And then instead of you trying to be like, I have to eat this to meet my quota for the day, it's your body saying, hey, like this felt good, I want more of this. And then you're going to find yourself automatically kind of gravitating towards eating more or getting up earlier in the morning. Or so I would say, like, if you're still trying to like figure out, it's just like try meditating for 5 minutes in the morning, or a minute, even if it's a minute, 30 seconds, and seeing if it helps. And then like if you're going to be like, oh, you know what, my day was a whole lot better because I took that 2 minutes to just sit and meditate. And then you're going to be like, oh, it helped me you're going to realize it helped you get through your day more, and you're going to want to do it more often. And you'll naturally find yourself wanting to do it a little longer in the morning, or eating healthier, or like craving fruits, vegetables. So I guess this is like how you are. I think we try to go too far and like overhaul and change our diet. Like I'm going to start this keto diet, and you just change everything, but then you're still also and I think that's part of it. We try to do like it black and white, like I'm just straight on the keto diet, and not giving yourself like, but hey, you know, I enjoy a piece of cake every once in a while, like, and it being okay to have that. And so, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? If there are no more questions, I would love for you to share with us, like, what out of everything that you've learned in your whole life, what would you share with us if you had 1 or 2 things that you would share with somebody? What would it be? And then after that, just share with us what all you have, what services you offer, and give us more information about yours.
Yeah. I think that the biggest thing I kind of always say to people is you can't pour from an empty cup, which is why self-care is so important, especially if you're someone who likes to be of service and serve people. A lot of the times we do that to our detriment, and we do not take care of ourselves because we're so focused on everyone else. So and if that's and I kind of come from that same mindset. So what I get from that is, in order to help other people the best way, is that first I have to take care of myself. I can't really fully and 100% show up and be there for someone else if I haven't fully shown up for myself first. And so, and I know, and I also feel like just in general, as Black and brown women in general, but Black women, we are taught to put everyone above ourselves, and we're exhausted, we're depleted, things like that. And so we have to take care of ourselves before we take care of other people, so that we can serve them the best and be there for our communities and our families. And then, so I do kind of, as far as my services, I do 2 things. One, I have something called the Holistic Health Intensive. And so one time, it's about a 90-minute session, and we sit down and kind of list your goals through your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual goals, because it's not, as we've all kind of, it's not just about your physical health. You have to be a whole person, your whole health. So we sit down and kind of figure out your goals, kind of like how Maya, like, she wants to get up in the morning, and we'll sit down and discuss what that looks like for her and how to make actionable steps. And so you go leave away with like a wellness plan for yourself. And then I do a 6-month coaching program called the Majestic You coaching program. And first step back, Majestic comes from, Majestic is my middle name. Which is kind of why I named my business that, and what I do that. But the Majestic You 6-month program is like a deeper dive into, so you have this wellness plan, but you need more help along that journey. So I can give you the plan and give you steps, but if you want to have a little more guidance through that and kind of work through the underlying things of that, that's the Majestic You coaching program. We would meet twice a month and kind of walk through that wellness plan to help give you more tips and insight on how to be the best you that you can be. Both those things you can find on my website, majestichealth.co. And then on there you can schedule a call with me to either, if you want a deeper dive and kind of discuss a discovery call to kind of figure out what kind of where you're at and what type of session is best for you. Like, not everyone may be ready to sit down for 6 months and walk through their things. Or some people just need help making that plan and the holistic intensive. So if you want to just do and those calls are free. So if you just want to sit down and kind of navigate what it kind of some of that stuff looks like for you, you can schedule that on my website.
Oh, beautiful. So if somebody just wants to find out, how to get on track, then you would work out, you would talk to them for free, and then you could work out a routine where that would suit them. And that's cool.
Yeah, so like if they're not ready for a 6-month commitment, that's a bigger commitment to have. The holistic health intensive, that one-time session may be best for you, or if you need, we can discuss something if you want something smaller, like a 3-month or something like that. But because part of it is like the best way to help someone is where they will be most invested. 6 months may be too much and too overwhelming for them, and they won't be committed, and it's not actually going to help them become better. So there's no point of it other than, yes, I would get money from it, but I haven't helped you, and that doesn't feel good either. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. That's wonderful. Okay. So that's encouraging also for somebody that's not used to doing the coaching and that type of thing, to know that there's a program that you can
tailor for them.
Yeah. Perfect. This has been awesome. I thank you truly, Amber. And if anybody's trying to come off of mute, I'm sorry. I just kind of broke into just say something if you were trying to come off, you wanted to ask one last question. But I thank you again for coming on and sharing this valuable information. Is it okay if I were to share some of the slides with our group?
Yeah, I can. Let me fix it again. Clearly I had some errors. But yeah, I think it's still shared with you. You can definitely go ahead and share that. Or I can download them and email them to you as well.
Okay. Whatever's easier for you, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it definitely fills a lot of gems. Awesome. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your Mother's Day. And thank you again for coming with us and sharing your information.
Thank you.
My pleasure. You're welcome.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.